Hi, I'm Austin Eartham.
And I'm Taylor Patton. Welcome to Kitchen Table Podcast.
We're going to motivate, educate, and relate to you guys, sharing our stories, helping you get 1% better in all areas of your life. Welcome to episode number 72. 72 weeks of this. Year and a half. I know we really have more like 150 episodes.
Yeah.
We got 1440s. 145 more like. Anyways, news this week. Got anything going on? Anything happening?
I got a bit of work. I didn't tell you that for us.
You got a bit of work?
I got bit at work.
You got bit at work?
Yeah.
How was your life experience getting bit by a kid?
What's my second time?
Yeah, the first time I...
First one's terrible.
Yeah.
This one wasn't as bad.
You shared
It's
that.
right. It's like, I'll show you after this right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got your new tattoo?
I did, finally.
Yeah.
It was good.
Show it in the live stream here. Inspire. What's inspired you this week? Last week?
I'm getting bit. Yeah. And that was
No,
awesome.
that's
I was like, dang, I think I really love working here.
How was your day, honey? Oh, I didn't get bit, so it's good.
Right. No, that was really good. Yeah, and just like seeing friends. Like I haven't seen my hometown friends in a while, and that since it's been like cold and snowy and all that. Like I haven't been home and that, and been out with them and all that. So it's good seeing them.
I would say when you see friends and you don't see them for a while, it's very fulfilling experience.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good. About it.
That's all I got about this week.
I went skiing over spring break with my family. So I was in Utah, which is pretty good. A couple more resorts checked off the list. Saw some mountains. It literally, like, the houses were so covered in snow that like the door like had to be like you open your door and there's snow above the door.
Right.
It was like 7 feet high. Like when you look at it and you think of like Whoville.
Yeah.
And the Grinch, that's literally what it looks like. Is they're just piled high.
Not about
And the Dr. Seuss version. Yeah, you probably wouldn't have liked it, but it's really weird because like we stayed in Sandy, which is like at the base of the mountain.
Yeah.
Just south of. Remember when we drove through Provo for our trip on Utah? It's like 20 minutes north of Provo. So Salt Lake City would be like 40 minutes away, but it was like 60 degrees, 45, 60 between there. When you get up the mountain, it's like 20. So it was like totally like nice.
Yeah.
Downtown. I could live in Salt Lake if it wasn't so far out there. Oh man, I liked it. Very clean.
Yeah.
Cool mountains.
I just hate the snow. I think it'd be fun to visit.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to visit, and then get me out of there.
I don't mind the snow.
I need to move to Texas.
Especially like Texas would be good too. But right now it's, I would say, being spring in the bottom of the mountain, and I have no idea. I think it's how long we can record for. Anyways, Anchor is now Spotify for podcasters. So if this doesn't work, let's hope for the best.
Hey, I hope
it says you're recording right now. But anyways, so went on that. Also went to my combine camp, which I did pretty well at. Probably the best I've ever done at it in terms of just an overall performance. So we're at peace with whatever happens in life, whether we're moving on, starting a business, or we're going to play in the league. So
you need to get picked up by the Dolphins.
We'll be okay with it. Dolphins got a pretty good kicker, but if Miami's warm, that's the only thing I'd like. Yeah. They got a good team now too.
Yeah.
So anyways,
another thing, in that I got called that I was out of the bars, and the Thursday game I said, "You're built like a Marine," and because he was asking for a smoke, and he's like, "Yeah, you're built like a Marine. I ain't fucking with you." And I made me laugh because I still feel like super small, like until like I get compliments like that, like I don't realize like how much growth I've seen, and like overcome. But I still feel like a twig. I feel like super small, but then I get compliments like that, and I'm like, damn, maybe I ain't like growing.
You are definitely bigger than you used to be, but I get that same feeling. Cause I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I'm not that strong or big. Yeah. And I look at others at the camp, and I was like, wow, I might be like the third smallest guy here overall in terms of total like height and weight. And I was like, you know what? I bet nobody can clean as much as I can though. I was just like talking to myself. I was like, you know what? It don't matter. As you guys might be 6'3", 220, but.
And I was thinking that like, there's always this like body dysmorphia and all that. Like everyone has it, whether you lift or not.
Yeah.
And I was like, you really gotta walk around like you're the shit.
Yeah, you
Like
got
not a narcissistic way, because like people like tell me like, oh, you're like no, like you gotta believe in yourself, like you're the shit, like you're the man. Like
I put on my
have
Motivation
that
Monday
confidence, yeah.
last week that you got to think like a champion and act like a champion to
Yeah.
actually become a champion.
Exactly.
You think that you're the weenie of the group or you're the runt, and you're not going to get real far. 'Cause you're going to play like it.
And I've said it a few times in that, because like there's this quote, and it's like you never can truly and fully be like present if you don't fully embrace your presence.
That's true.
And so I like say like, oh, like I was telling like a couple of people like, yeah, I believe on this shit. Like I'm like, I believe on this shit. Like at work and or like just being out and about like on this shit. Like I'm sorry, I feel like this kind of cussing.
Yeah, we're going to put explicit on this episode. It's going to be our first explicit episode because Taylor can't keep his mouth straight here.
Sorry. I don't know why. I don't cuss that much.
Just say you're the man.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, and they just like didn't get it, and I was like, I understand. I understand why you don't get it.
Yeah. Alphas and betas, remember?
Yeah.
I do think in a leadership position, you got to be a lot of alpha, and you got to, again, coaches, you got to believe in yourself. You're a leader, you got to believe in yourself. I think lately, like I've been thinking a lot about in my, like, since I've had a hurt hip, I feel like my lifts are way low, like at least squatting wise. So for me, look at others, it makes no sense. But I just got to look at myself, okay, if I keep growing, if I get 20 pounds here, 20 pounds there, in a year, 60 pounds is a lot. You know what I mean? Like that's a ton of weight gains.
Yeah.
In terms of the weight room. So I just got to keep looking at myself and stay with the program and think that I'm getting better, because in the end, it doesn't matter for anybody else. Who cares? You know?
Exactly.
But all that kind of conversation made me think this week about adversity, because we all go through different types of adversity. So I want to talk about adversity today, and I want to lead off with this Calvin Coolidge quote that I heard on another podcast with the Kelsey brothers, which I finally caught up on. Yeah. Took me a little longer than the Super Bowl.
I need to add in there. I need to add in the rotation.
It's pretty good. They're still doing it in the offseason too. But anyways, they were talking about how Jason, so the center for the Eagles, was talking how his dad or his grandpa once said a super important quote to him, and it literally changed the direction of his life. So it's by Calvin Coolidge, and it's about perseverance.
I'm ready for my life to be changed too.
Yep. It's kind of long, so bear with me. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. I don't know if I said the last word right. I need to look up what omnipotent means.
Yeah, I don't know what that word is.
Omnipotent.
So that's a big word.
Having unlimited power. So basically, if you can persist through anything and you have determination, nothing can stop you. Yeah. Which I totally agree with. Because I think so on our trip this past week, we always have, like, I call them car conversations, right? So where would you live if you could? Where would you go? Where are the 5 top places? I always do travel stuff. If you won the lottery, what would you do with it, type of deal?
Yeah.
But here's a lottery question for you before we get into that. If you had $10 million that you had to give away, and you couldn't give it to anybody of your family, who would you give it to? You had to give it all to one person. Who would you give it to? That was the question.
Jeremy Lin.
Moving on. The great answer, Jeremy Lin. All right. That's a Santa Claus, so we're good. Just kidding, I did. But anyways, we were talking about bucket list, and Dad was like, because my mom and Dad just got back from Mexico a few weeks ago, and they had a conversation about like their bucket list, and Mom started to write hers down, and I was like, I had mine wrote down forever. Everybody knows that. And Dad's like, what are some bucket list items to you? And I threw out like go to the World Cup final, become a professional athlete. I said conquer myself, go on African safari, go to outer space, all these cool things. And he was saying stuff, and I was like, do you have anything that aren't experiences? Like, is there anything you want to do with your job or like a legacy thing? And he's like, no, a bucket list item is something that like a crazy thing you want to do. He's like, I want to jump in the ocean naked. And so I was like, okay, like great, go do it. And he was saying how I shouldn't say that I want to conquer myself. That's not a bucket list item. That's like a goal. And I said, a bucket list item is something that you want to experience before you die. And in my opinion, it's something that you will do whatever it takes to make it happen. So like going on our honeymoon, going on an overwater bungalow is on my bucket list. Skydiving is on my bucket list. I don't care what it costs. I'm never going to do it again. If it doesn't make me bankrupt, I'm going to do it. And then we looked up the definition, and you guys at home can go do this, but it basically says what I said, that it's an experience or something you want to do before you die. And I want to conquer myself before I die. That's rewarding to me. So I think to do that, there's a lot of adversity. Right? We were driving, and they shut down the highway in Wyoming, literally.
Good snow?
Yeah, no, like wind. Because it gets like super windy in western Wyoming. So we had to, well, we were staying in Cheyenne anyways, but it worked out because it wasn't a big deal. But I was like, adversity right there. And then they shut down the interstate or highway to the ski resort because there was avalanche procedures going on. And I was like, oh, more adversity. And I was like, I got to go to this camp and miss a couple of days of skiing. More adversity. I was like, the camp, it's so hard. I'm just going on a rant now. It's so hard to be number one. That's what I wrote. Going to camp, there's like, oh yeah, there won't be that many people there that are like really good because everybody's already in the league or some league. I get there, I was like, everybody here is like the guy. So I was like, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna beat them all. And I didn't get first, but I did well. Probably got 8th overall, I guess. So I was like, in the PGA Tour, that's a lot of money if I get 8th place.
Yeah.
I just made $500 grand.
Yeah.
Nope, I spent money.
This is a big tangent.
No, it's just going off to adversity.
Right.
Adversity is so like prevalent in our lives. And my adversity is so much different than your adversity.
Absolutely.
So like, okay, I'll let you talk here a minute. What are some adversities in your life right now?
I mean, one thing I said, like getting the, I want to say like it's like a challenge. Like, it's not a hard thing to go through, but it's more like stupid. It's not like anything's possible. Like anything can happen. Like, I mean, like you get infected, or like you could have some sort of stupid disease and stuff like that. Like something like that. Like it doesn't affect me, but like sometimes like, it popped in my head yesterday. And like, dang, I was like, okay, what if like this kid actually does have some weird like that'd be some stupid ass luck. And then took on that. So I cleaned it out and all that. But that for like 5 minutes I was like, dang, I was like hoping for the best. Other than that, anything car related. Right now, because I have my second car that I don't use, that I need to get rid of, and I kind of just keep putting it off.
Like, so that's more of a hassle. I don't know if that's an adversity.
I feel like it's an adversity to me because that means I have to deal with it. I mean, freaking just push it off.
So hassle would still be a good category.
Yeah, I still like. I mean, yeah.
Adversity to me is like something you really care about that you have to solve to get. It's like an obstacle. I guess so is a hassle.
Yeah. I mean, like my job every day, like I struggle. Like today, I was like, damn. I was like, I really don't like the last 2 hours of my day. I was like, this sucks. Because I had to like problem solve like on stuff that I shouldn't have to problem solve. Like I was picking other people's slack up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to carry this whole group. Not like actually carry, but I'm gonna have to like do 4 people's job as my job for an hour and a half. Just keep it flowing, keep the group moving, and all that. But isn't like an actual struggle? Yeah.
It says adversity is just a difficulty or misfortune.
Yeah, it's definitely
similar.
The same thing as
ill luck, bad luck, difficulty, hardship, suffering, pain. Yeah, so I guess it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, because I mean I don't have any like major hassles. And like I'm very like fortunate. Like I don't have like I have a car that works. Like I have a roof over my head. I have a secure job. Like I have.
Yeah, and that's something to
that's
think
like-
about in the grand scheme of things. That our adversities are really not as bad as they could be.
That's like I'm so grateful for like the things I do have, and that, and I'd say that's an adversity to me. Is like sometimes I feel too content in the things I have.
You know, I'm getting better at that. But I also like try to put myself in adversity. Like I forgot my cold shower yesterday, so I took it today, which is probably good because I had a hard workout, so I needed it.
Right.
But during it, I'm going like I can't, like my stomach hurts because I can't breathe in it because it's like shocking to me. So during
Yeah.
it's not fun. So that's definitely an adversity. But afterwards, when you ever do like a cold tub or a sauna for a long time or a hard lift and you get it, you always feel good afterwards.
Yeah, and like that's a lot of like that's how like men cope, and that is wild because like in vent, you know, like girls like vent to each other, and that I don't want to say all girls, but most, where like men like go through hard things to vent and cope,
I don't know if people go through hard things.
but they like
you
put
don't-
themselves like yeah.
You
like,
think so?
Yes,
I think most humans are pretty scared to do that.
I think most men that actually cope through things go through hard things. Like if you really want to if you really feel some type of way about something, like you had a bad day at your job, okay, and you really want to get through it, you go put yourself through something hard that you enjoy. Whether that's a bike ride, whether that's a run, whether that's you grinding video games.
I would say motivated people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's what I'm talking. I guess that's what
Yeah,
I'm
because
talking
your
right now.
adrenaline's going a little bit more, and you're like, I
Otherwise-
like feeling mad when I work out because I
Yeah.
work out better. Not like
That's how
furious, but like just kind of on edge. You got like something to prove.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. I guess the point I'm getting at, and that.
Yeah, I wrote down here, challenges help. Like going through adversities always help
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And that
I don't think it's just about coping though. I think it's one, it does help you cope. Like getting some steam blown off obviously is good. Getting your mind off
I think
things.
when you like that type of stuff, like it really clears your mind.
Yeah, but I also think just the conquerness of it. Like
Yeah.
you feel powerful that you
And that's
you
what
got
I'm saying.
through it.
That's what I'm saying. Like you get through it, like your mind's clear. Like you don't have like that burden. You didn't like if you conquered something hard, and that no matter like what that is to you and yourself, like.
And I think that's why I put on my bucket list to conquer myself, because that's like the ultimate thing, the ultimate adversity that you can go through.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I learned this week, I was going to say for next episode, is wisdom. The reason you get wisdom as you're older is because you have more life experiences.
Right.
And you have to go through more adversities.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we basically try to hit, like, go big, have lofty goals, have a crazy bucket list, make it so it's hard to get to, because going through those adversity make it that much sweeter. Anything worth doing is hard. So I like embracing the challenges right now.
Yeah. And that, cause like, when like you feel down and out on something and that, like, you don't make it the NFL. Yeah, that's gonna upset you for a few days, a week, 2 weeks, and that you're gonna keep living. You're gonna keep pushing on. Your girlfriend breaks up to you, your boyfriend breaks up to you. You just gotta keep living.
Yeah, I do think you gotta keep living, but I also think you need to
Because that's what
learn
going.
from the experience, though.
Absolutely. But if you dwell in it for too long, you get stuck in it.
Yeah, I do.
If you
agree.
get stuck in it, then everything else falls with it. And that, like,
I do agree. You gotta keep living.
Yeah, your mental, the rest of your life, your social life, your spiritual life, like all that falls with it. The more you're stuck in all that.
And I think for me, I mean, I've lived all those experiences. The first year after doing the camps and not doing well, I was like, well, back to the drawing board. Like, we gotta wait a whole nother year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now it's like, I know I have what it takes to get to it, but can I be number one? I don't know. A lot of people never even have the shot to be number one. And I think me having lofty goals and going through that amount of adversity, I learned so much along the process that has helped
Yeah.
build other places in my life. It helped build my mental game. It helped build relationships. It helped build a clear sense. When you go through adversity, it gives you a clear sense of what you're trying to accomplish and why you're trying to accomplish it. So I think adversity is always good in terms of your future if you keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's so saying. Like now looking back, like what, a month ago, 2 months ago, I had that conversation where I was like, this something happened at work where I was like, I was like upset. I was like mad.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think how I had worded it. I don't remember. But there's a conversation that was had that like I didn't like. I didn't feel comfortable with. I was upset with. And like going through that, like I guess I would consider that probably my most versatile thing I've went through lately.
Mm-hmm.
But like 2 days later, I was like, I moved on with my life. Like I grew from it. And it's like I'm already like not affected by a lot of things that people do.
Mm-hmm.
Or people say and all that. Like you can argue with me like the Earth's flat for days, or the Earth's a circle or whatever. Like we actually live on Pluto. I'm like I don't care. Like you believe how you believe, like, and all that stuff. And like now I was just sitting. I was like, this one kid is like mad. He's just like when people are mad, he will just say stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dang, I really unlocked like a new level of I don't care. Like I'm not affected by anything.
No, do you not care, or do you?
I'm just like not affected by it. Like.
Yeah, I was just like caring and not being affected are two different things.
And caring is the word. I would put caring in there too, because at the end of the day, like people are gonna be people. Like, they're gonna make their own decisions, and how you react to it is now becomes your life. If someone, it's like I don't know, so like your friend and that like chooses to go out without you, and you see it on their story, and then now you're upset because you weren't invited and you feel like you're missing out. Like that's your decision. Like you were affected by it, even though like maybe something else happened, and that like you're only seeing and you're only reacting to half the story.
What I used to always say is, if it doesn't affect you, if literally your life does not change, then who cares?
Yeah.
Like like I used to hate watching football on TV because I was like, I should be there. So I like tried to stop watching it. And I was like, my life is not affected whether I watch it or not. Like in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to go to bed at the same time. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow, no matter if I see it or not.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't matter. And then I think in your situation, when you were all mad and you learned from it, really in a way, it can only be better now. Yeah. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't change your life. The only thing it did is you learned how to communicate, hopefully better. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's only a positive.
Exactly.
So
I was like that adversity lasted 48 hours tops.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about myself.
And again, to me, I could have cared less about the conversation. Like for me, the adversity is like, that's adversity. Like nobody. I go to 7th grader. Somebody stole my candy, Mr. Eartham.
Yeah. We deal with a lot of that too. Like,
okay, who cares? Like, guess what? You're gonna have another piece of candy tomorrow, probably. I remember in high school, I like really wanted to do senior pictures, buy a class ring. My mom's like, in 10 years, you will not care about this.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I will, Mom.
I'm so glad I didn't get one.
Yeah, I didn't get one either. And then we were talking about the trip. She was like, remember when you wanted a class ring? And I was like, yeah, I'm glad we didn't spend $300 on that. Like, what a waste. And I think about that today. In 20 years, what am I going to be like, wow, I had to do that.
Yeah.
I had to have this thing. I was like, it's just a waste of, in the end, you don't need things. You need experiences, culture experiences. You need things that are going to benefit you as a human. You need to be around people who are going to help you reach your goals. And in the end, if it's not reaching your goals, if the adversity is not helping you get to your goals, then it's really not adversity.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't matter. Yeah. And I think sometimes we spend a lot of time reacting to adversity when we should be processing if it's really that big of a deal. My opinion. But I also want to hit on, go ahead, actually, you got something to say, it looks like.
No, you're good, because I was going to dive into something that's going to take us a little while to unfold, and that's all good.
I was just thinking, I gotta stop saying I think anyways. Two things I want to talk about for adversity. Number one, another reason I started thinking about adversity for this topic is in the hotel in Phoenix for the combine. Mm-hmm. We were watching Shark Tank before we went to bed.
Yeah.
And this guy was trying to sell this tattoo shop and they wanted to make shirts out of the tattoos and all these other things and expand in LA. And Mark Cuban, one of the Sharks, was going to be involved in buying part of this company. And he's talking to him about it. And the guy clearly loves the product and wants to sell it and loves doing tattoos and has like a retail, like he's emotionally invested in it. Mm-hmm. And Mark Cuban was asking him questions about his job, how much he cares and all that kind of stuff. And the guy's like, I care a lot, but I'm hands off right now. I'd be fine living on $100K a year instead of $150K a year if that's what it takes. And Mark Cuban's like, what's the day-to-day look like? He's like, well, I got all people to do all that for me because I'm going to open up the new business. I'm working on that and stuff. And basically what Mark Cuban wanted him to say is, I will live on $10,000 a year, and I will be in the office working with people for 12 to 15 hours a day if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
But Mark didn't invest because the guy basically said, I'm hands off and I can live on 100K, not 150K, right? So he's invested in the idea, but he wasn't invested in the business like he was on day one.
Yeah.
Because now he's a big shot and makes money and it doesn't matter. So Mark wanted him to have the adversity to go through to be like your last lifeline, like, this is my baby and I care about it. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between this is my baby, I'll make 100K instead of 150K, and this is my baby, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that it thrives and my business grows. Mm-hmm. That's why I think the bucket list is important. That's why I think going through adversity and learning from the camps and all in terms of my life is important, because in the end, adversity is going to make you stronger and it's going to help you become a better person moving forward. And the other thing I think is important with adversity is when it weighs on us, I think our faith can play a large role.
Yeah.
I don't know if I talked about this. I talked about it with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I saw a quote in this book for Lent. Talks about a bird in a house. Bird flies into your house. What's the bird want to do? What's the number one thing the bird wants to do?
Get out.
Get out, right? What do you want the bird to do?
Stay.
Most people, except for Taylor, want the bird to get out. So the bird's trying to get out, right? It's frantically running. You're trying to grab it, and the bird is trying to get away from you, right? Or you're trying to shoot out. You're trying to help it get out, correct? You don't want it to get hurt because then it's ruining all yours. You don't want it flying around, breaking all your stuff. So he's trying to get out. You're trying to get it out. But when you grab the bird, it's finally like, it's going crazy, right?
Yeah.
Finally, you grab it and you get it out and you let it go and it's free and it flies away.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
It's free.
It's free.
See, I just want to make it
a lot of the time we do the same thing with God and God does the same thing with us. God wants us to be free, but we're squirming around, flying all over the place in this little house that we're not supposed to be in. We get in our own way of freedom because we want our plan. So I think a lot of times in adversity, if we look at it as, hey, this is God's plan for my life.
Yeah.
I always talk about the struggles. Then I think, hey, it's okay. This is part of God's making me stronger for the future, whatever's supposed to happen. It gives us a sense of peace in the adversity. So I think in adversity, to lean on your faith is a great way to take the pressure off yourself and just relax and let go and accept, and then keep working to move forward. Mm-hmm. That's all my thoughts on adversity.
Right.
Do you want to jump into what you were going to say? You're going to head it to the...
Yeah. No, I think that's a great place. And God's not going to give you burdens you can't carry.
I like it. We'll hit it in the 1440 or no?
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready for 1440. Tune in, boys and girls. We'll catch you on Thursday. Appreciate you guys.
Love you. Bye.